The Haunting of Hollow Ridge. Episode 17, The Gathering Storm. In the days following their confrontation at the church, the atmosphere in Hollow Ridge shifted. A newfound determination filled the town as everyone prepared for the task ahead, uncovering the remaining symbols of the darkness and ensuring they would not face another entity unprepared. Nina and her friends became the reluctant leaders of this movement. They spent countless hours in the community center, poring over town maps, historical records, and local legends. Each story brought to light another possible location where remnants of the darkness might linger. One rainy afternoon, as the group huddled around a table scattered with papers, Tom leaned back in his chair, running a hand through his hair. What if we're looking in the wrong places? What if we missed something obvious? Like what? Grace asked, glancing at him with curiosity. Remember the old library? It's been abandoned for years, but it used to be the heart of the town's history. If there are any records of the entity or its symbols, it would be there, Tom suggested. Nina nodded thoughtfully. That's a good idea. It's worth checking out. Jack, who had been quiet, finally spoke up. But the library is rumored to be haunted. We all heard the stories when we were kids. Are we going to go in there? Are we afraid of ghosts? Danielle scoffed. We've faced way worse than that. We need to be cautious, Nina cautioned. The darkness we faced was real, and we don't know what else might lurk there. The group exchanged glances, weighing the risks. Finally, they all agreed to visit the library together. They couldn't allow fear to dictate their choices any longer. They had to uncover the truth. They gathered at the library that evening, its silhouette looming against the darkening sky. The once vibrant building was now shrouded in decay, ivy crawling up the stone walls and broken windows, casting eerie shadows. As they stepped inside, the door creaked ominously. Dust filled the air, and the musty smell of old books enveloped them. The library felt alive, every creak and groan resonating in the silence. Stay close, Nina whispered, her heart racing. The dim light from their flashlights flickered as they moved deeper into the building, the atmosphere thick with unease. They began to search through the stacks of books, scanning titles for anything that might provide insight. Tom led the way to the history section, pulling dusty tomes from the shelves. Grace and Jack explored the reference materials, while Daniel looked for anything that might spark a memory of local legends. As they dug deeper, Nina felt a sense of foreboding creeping into her thoughts. Shadows seemed to dance just beyond the reach of their flashlights, and every sound echoed unnaturally in the stillness. Did you hear that? Jack suddenly asked, stopping in his tracks. Nina strained to listen. A faint whisper echoed through the aisles, almost like a soft chant. It sent chills down her spine. It's probably just the wind, she said, trying to sound braver than she felt. But the whisper grew louder, a chorus of voices that seemed to seep from the very walls. Leave. 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 Panic surged through Nina. We need to stick together. Let's not get separated. They regrouped, their flashlights illuminating the gathering darkness. As they moved cautiously toward the source of the voices, they entered a dimly lit room at the back of the library, where the air felt charged with energy. In the center stood an old, wooden table covered in dust, surrounded by ancient books and scrolls. As they approached, the chanting intensified, echoing around them like a ghostly warning. What is this place? Tom asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Nina leaned closer to the table, her heart racing. Among the scrolls, she spotted a symbol, the same one they had found in the church. This is it. This is one of the symbols. Before they could react, a cold gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing their flashlights and plunging them into darkness once again. The whispers morphed into screams, rising and falling like a tide of despair. Get back! Nina shouted, feeling her way back toward her friends. Panic surged in the cramped space as the temperature dropped, their breaths visible in the chill. Suddenly, a spectral figure emerged from the shadows, its face twisted in anguish. It hovered above the table, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. You should not have come here. Nina felt her heart pound in her chest. "We're not afraid of you," she shouted, trying to project confidence. The figure pointed a bony finger at them, its voice a chilling echo. "You cannot stop what has already begun. The darkness will consume you." Tom grabbed Nina's arm, pulling her back. "We need to leave. Now." But Nina shook her head, her determination flaring. "No, we can't leave without finding the rest of the symbols." The figure's form flickered, shifting in and out of focus. "You will regret this," it hissed, before lunging toward them. In that instant, Nina recalled the light they had unleashed in the church. "Everyone, gather around the table," she shouted. "We need to focus our energy." With little time to spare, they clustered around the table, hands on each other's shoulders, channeling their fear into a single purpose. Nina closed her eyes, picturing the light they had created before, the warmth that had pushed back the darkness. "Together," she called out, feeling the bond among them grow stronger. They concentrated, summoning the light from within as the figure lunged toward them. The air crackled with energy as their collective will ignited, a bright glow emanating from their circle. The figure recoiled, its screams echoing through the room as the light enveloped them. With a blinding flash, the light surged forward, piercing through the figure, which let out a final, anguished wail before dissipating into the shadows. The whispers faded, replaced by an eerie silence that settled over the library. As the light dimmed, they opened their eyes, breathless. "Did we do it?" Jack asked, his voice trembling. Nina nodded, adrenaline coursing through her. "I think so. But we need to find those symbols before anything else can rise again." The atmosphere felt lighter, the oppressive weight lifting. They turned their attention back to the table, where the scrolls lay scattered. In their chaos, Nina noticed one was unfurled, revealing a detailed illustration of the remaining symbols. "This could lead us to the others," Tom said, excitement growing in his voice. As they gathered the scrolls and prepared to leave, a new determination surged through them. They had faced darkness and emerged stronger. They wouldn't allow the shadows to reclaim their town. With renewed purpose, they stepped back into the dim corridors of the library, the weight of their mission heavy upon them. Outside, the rain had stopped, and the stars twinkled in the clear night sky, a reminder that light still existed even in the darkest times. Together, they would find the remaining symbols and ensure that Hollow Ridge would never again fall victim to the darkness lurking just beyond their reach. End of episode 17.